Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. People, I am my own worst enemy. I'm not even kidding you. I fight myself, like, constantly. It's so sad, and I can't say on all fronts because in many ways, I'm simpatico. like, I know what I need to do and I do it, but there's certain areas, and I don't know why it's considered such high risk. Like, a lot of people dig my voice, right? And it seems like I would be a natural for voiceovers, like straight up. I mean, I'm an incredible reader. I know intonation. I can make different voices all the time, depending on what I'm talking about. I humor my students every single day. I know how to rap, what's up. But when it was the opportunity, I panicked. And it was sad because it was a sense that the risk was too high. And that'll be the case with like paperwork and stuff. The only one failing is me. Like, nobody even has power over me at this time in my life to speak of. But I put this undue pressure on myself and I set myself up to fail. It's really, really sad. Oh my goodness. So I'm struggling with something that is due and I can't seem to commit to paper. At the risk of what? Ah, gosh, and I'm allowing things that don't exist yet to pressure me. You know how they say like only 8% of things become true. So 92% I should be able to let go of. But I'm looking into a future that doesn't exist. Anyway, I just wanted to share a really cute video. There's this program that students use and teachers use at school called Go Noodle, and it's a bunch of dancing and music and fun. And we usually use it on days that are like rainy day schedules or what they refer to as intermittent weather because it may be far too hot. Whatever the case is, the children will get to do Go Noodle, and it's a little harder as you get older. They're not as interested as they were as little kids, but let's just say there's a huge difference in enthusiasm between like third grade and sixth because they become far too aware of their body and what they're afraid people are thinking. But this one is really cute and it's important. And I'm attaching it as the description of this video, and it says the ball is in your court. And it's saying, you know, the ball is in your court and you have an opportunity, but that if you don't play, you will lose every single time. The only way to even succeed at the minimum is if you take that risk and play the game, because those who don't play are guaranteed to lose, right? And that was an important message for me to rehear, even though it's directed at children, but that's because inevitably it is the inner child in me, that primal kid who is caught up in, you know, wanting to run if things get too difficult. And so it's remembering that, you know, the ball is in my court, and as long as I try for it, I am well more ahead than if I don't even dare to play. And that's what it's saying. Take a risk every single day and know that there's a chance that you will hit that ball. There's a chance that you will improve in time. There's a chance that you'll learn to love what was once difficult. I like the idea of all of that. I really do. Anyway, I have report cards to work on. That's something I'm struggling with. I'm still in shock over my superintendent suddenly dying. And we're supposed to have a lot of weather this week, which is rare for California. But what's interesting for me is that I drive out in the desert, like literally in the desert. And there can be flash floods and things like that. I don't necessarily need to freak about that until I encounter it. But I have to remember to be safe and to not push additional boundaries that don't need to be pushed. I can stop and let the water pass. I can risk driving the speed limit and being late, you know, to school rather than arriving injured or dead, right? Anyway, just stuff like that. So for my food, I did well today. I had a lot of bananas, not a ton. I had 4, but they were good sized. with romaine, which I enjoy, cinnamon, which I love, and chia as my protein, which was super. And then I drink a good amount of water. I had oranges and pink grapefruit for lunch with celery, which was perfectly lovely. And for dinner, I had broccoli slaw with one of my favorite dressings that I love to make, which is apple and pear with tahini and a little bit of heat. I like to add a little cayenne to that and some apple cider vinegar, and it just makes this tangy, thick, delicious dressing. And I had some power greens with that broccoli slaw and mixed it all up and ate it. And then I had some delicious, calming, lovely licorice spice tea because the kitchen is closed. So I felt blessed in my day. I'm excited because I am part of the Simplicity, Spring Simplicity, I think that's what it's called, for the Tannyraw reset. I've mentioned Tannyraw many times. I don't want to mention it too much because it's closed and you wouldn't be able to get in, but I encourage every time for people to start saving their pennies now because it averages about $300, but it's for an entire month of content with live videos every day, a private Facebook group to bounce off of. And it's just 28 days of amazing. So if you want to start saving your money now, you might consider that. I'm not sure when the next one is. They're usually every couple of months, but it just depends. But that is the Raw Reset from Tannyraw, a total social media phenom who just loves health, makes health her hobby, and believes in people and believes that people are worthy of health and that health is our birthright. That's a big one that she promotes all the time. So I'm excited to get started with that because I always need more tools. I always need encouragement. I have yet to get my weight off, but I believe that this is my year to do that. One day at a time, one good choice at a time, one bite at a time. And sometimes no bites, because sometimes I choose to abstain. If I'm too spastic in the moment and fear that I might make a poor choice or choose to overeat, I may choose to abstain on that day. I've definitely been offering up prayer for my nephew Dean, who's continuing to show signs of wellness, but he's not communicating yet. His brain isn't moving his limbs, and that's really scary because of the atrophy and things that can happen at any age. So continued prayers for Dean. I have another special little person that I'm praying for who just chose to make a really good choice that could change the trajectory of their life in a wonderful direction. But just because we say yes to something doesn't mean it isn't scary. And saying yes is the first step, but it's followed by a lot of footwork and a ton of consistency. And that's kind of the same thing with the Raw Reset. It's like I can sign up, I can get the money and put it together, but I still have to show up, and I still have to do the homework, and I still have to do the footwork, and I have to be consistent, because just because we start something, it's not the end game. We actually have to do the work. So, prayers all around. As always, if you have any prayers, let me know in the description below. I would love to support you. I am a God person, I am a prayer person, and my prayers tend to be answered on behalf of others. All right, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe, and until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.